If you're a new copywriter and you just landed your first client, welcome to the club. I'm making this video for anyone that is just brand new to the whole world of copywriting and you get into the position where you have a client or maybe you're about to sign a client, and these are just a couple things you're gonna wanna know. So I signed my first client before even knowing what the word copywriting really meant. I had a person that I was in a mastermind group with reach out to me, ask me if I knew how to write, and told me what he needed done, and I was just like, yeah, sure, that sounds good. But I didn't actually know what I was doing. Like, I didn't know what copywriting was. I was just doing it. And so these are a couple things you learn along the way, because I recommend you just jump in and get a client and figure it out as you go, because you're gonna learn so much faster if you're actually doing the thing than just like watching videos and learning about it. So number one, you're gonna wanna go and study their competition. So let's say this is a clothing brand. Go and find similar clothing brands. For example, I have a clothing brand and they use hemp to create the material for their clothing. So I went and I studied other clothing companies that use those same materials and have a similar process. They're all based in the US and they have a similar marketing angle. And I studied those companies to really learn what was working for them, what kind of posts they were making, what was resonating with their audience. And then you're also gonna wanna study this client's audience. So that kind of brings us to number two, where you're gonna go and look at their followers on Instagram, look at the people on their email list, get an idea of what the demographic is so you know what your angle should be. Number three, you wanna really learn the softwares they're using. Are they using Shopify? Do you have to learn the different email apps that integrate with that? Is it Klaviyo? Is it GHL? Figure out what, it's gonna be based probably on what industry they're in, but figure out what kind of softwares you need to learn for that. And whether you're building sales pages or you're sending emails, you can learn pretty much any of those things, any of those softwares in a day. Like if you really study it, you can find some YouTube videos. You can learn Facebook ads in a day. If you just spend like 8 hours watching videos, actually testing ads and trying it out, you can learn how to like navigate any software. At this point, they're all so intuitive. So that's what you're gonna wanna do next, is really just like learn the softwares that they're in. And now you wanna actually get the content. So for example, something that's worked really well for me is I will ask my client a bunch of questions and I will tell them at the end of the text message, hey, can you respond to this with an audio message? And they will respond to whatever questions, like for example, if I'm asking about the brand story, if it's more details, because you're gonna get some of the details on that call that you're closing them on. You're gonna get more details probably on a strategy call that you're gonna set up with them right after you close the sale. So I guess that kind of comes first, is like once you close that sale, set up a strategy call to get all the details, get an idea of the softwares they're using, their goals, what kind of angle they really want you to take. But then questions are gonna come up as you actually write the copy, as far as like the story behind it, maybe details on the actual products used or the manufacturers or the market competition. As those questions come up, send them the questions over text or email, however you communicate, but ask them to respond with a voice note. And the reason for this is because they're gonna respond way more conversationally and they're gonna give you way more information, because people love to talk. And so when you ask them to respond on a voice message, you're just gonna get a lot more content out of that. But it's also really crucial for good copy to be in a conversational tone. Like if you write a post, my hair is going crazy right now, but if you write a post and you write it the same way that brand owner would have talked about it, would have spoken, you're going to, number one, capture their voice, and also number two, capture a conversational tone, which is just going to be so much easier to read and it's going to keep people engaged. So those are the crucial elements when you're putting together the actual content itself. You're also going to want to get an idea of what their long-term goals are, where they see the brand 6 months from now, what success looks like to them. So if they're working with you, let's say they're paying you $2,500 a month to run their emails, well, you want to find out what that looks like for them at the end of 3 months, 6 months, a year of working with you. If everything goes as planned, as perfect as can be, what does success look like to them? And you want to really crystallize that, like be clear, because it has to be something measurable, so that like they don't come back to you next month, they're like, hey, this isn't working. And you're like, well, I thought your goal was just to get more views, more eyeballs. And they're like, no, I actually wanted more sales, like, or I wanted to engage this type of audience or something else. There's so many different goals and you really want to crystallize that with them. So it could be that they do just want more exposure on social media. It could be that they want to reignite an audience that they used to have, an email list that kind of died. They want to like get them engaged again. That could be their goal. Or maybe they want to build a new email list. Maybe they want to land some partnerships. Or I have one client and we're just focusing on getting the brand to the point where we can get some big investors to invest. And so it's all about the positioning. It's all about how the brand looks as a full package and how it's set up to be sellable in the next 5 to 10 years. So those are the kind of things you need to crystallize with your customer to make sure that like everything you're doing is working towards that goal, and you're gonna crush it. It's okay to feel scared. It's okay to feel like this imposter syndrome, like, because you've never done this before. So you're not gonna feel super confident with your first client, and that's totally okay. This is where you build that confidence. This is where you become the professional copywriter. So just embrace that feeling and know that the more you do it, the more reps you put in, the more action you take, the more comfortable you're gonna feel. And you're gonna learn the softwares, and you're gonna learn the different marketing angles, and you're gonna just build your skill set. And so, yeah, that's the top things that I wish I had known when I signed my first client. It makes it way easier. You can also use AI to do some market research for you if that's helpful. Like, for example, if you're writing for a fitness influencer or something, and she's targeting middle-aged women, you could ask ChatGPT, hey, what are like the top 3 problems middle-aged women have when trying to get fit? And find out what those problems are so you can address them in your marketing. That's just an example, but ChatGPT can be really helpful for doing market research. Just don't have it write your copy for you. It's not gonna come out good. If you guys want more help as you're landing your first client or more help getting that first client, click the link in my description. I'm happy to jump on a call and strategize and see if I can help you at all. Anyways, that's the end of the video, so have a great day.